Hello everyone. So today we will talk about the Docker. So what is Docker? I hope you already know. Many of us have already told you that Docker is just like the virtual machine, but this is a wrong concept. What is Docker? Docker is actually a procedure that makes your application development easier than before. That means you don't have to reorganize everything whenever you want to deploy your project at any different environment. For example, you have created your project in your PC. Now you want to run that project into your another PC. What do you have to do? You have to recreate the whole environment. For example, what do I mean by the environment? That can be like Node. You have to reinstall the Node onto your computer. If the project contains Node, MySQL, this sort of thing, then you have to reinstall Node, then MySQL. Again, if you are a numb like me, then you will go for the XAMPP, and that's a pure headache for only testing the application onto, or you want to do some sort of work onto that PC. You got to do everything from the very beginning, and this is a pure headache, and this sort of thing can be seriously easy to be completed by using the Docker. Okay, so we have talked about a lot about the Docker. So Docker is actually contains the concept of virtual machine in a certain area. For example, what do we do in a virtual machine? First of all, we we download some sort of image, and then we install that image onto that virtual machine, and after all of that we get a environment, or kind of this kind of thing like a OS, for example. But this concept is kind of similar in Docker. What do I mean by that? Okay, let me explain. In Docker, if you want to use MySQL, a Node, a Postgre, or whatever it is, then you have to download an image of that thing. For example, let me show you something. Okay, I hope you already know how to install Docker. There is nothing to do. You have to just download that and install. Everything will be done automatically. So I'm not going to show you everything like that. And but I will show you something from this Docker app. But before that, I'm going to show you the Docker images. So for that, you have to go for the Docker Hub. If you go to the Docker Hub, then you will find a thing like official images and explore. What is actually the official images? I have already told you. In here, the images is kind of like MySQL or PostgreSQL, and this sort of thing all are images. So you can download that image into your Docker system, and you can download. But I'm not mentioning you that if you download that thing and that will be playable. Okay, this is not like that. This is just an OS file. Okay, an image, a normal image file. You have to execute that for running that application or whatever you want to do. So then these are the images that you can download and use in your Docker. And if you need anything, so there are a lot of sorting area, you can play with them. For example, we want MySQL. Okay, just search that right in here, and here you can see there is two MySQL right in here. One is for the enterprise edition, that is not we are going to do. We'll go for the MySQL, normal MySQL, and right in here you can see a lot of things. Okay, so I will describe you a very simple portion. And if you go for the tags, so what are actually the tags? If you are, if you know that in our platform, in our area, softwares are upgrading every day. So if you want to stick with one single version, then you can go for the tags. Okay, so tagging is very important in Docker because we don't want to if these things is like that. uh, MySQL 7 can be play with Node 12, for example, is not right, but for example, MySQL 7 currently is playable with Node 12, but on the next day, Node 13 released, but Node 13 doesn't support MySQL 7. And now, because no, in Node 7, MySQL 7 is deprecated. So how can we resolve that issue? So that is why I'm suggesting you not to use the latest tag. So you can see tag are just after the colon. So you can use MySQL latest or 8 or 7, whatever you need. Just you can pull that thing. So pulling is just like the git pull. In here, in your Docker system, you can pull any images. Then I hope you understand what did I mean by this sort of thing. So let me give you an example. So first of all, I'm going to go for my terminal and I'm going to place some sort of command right in here. So Docker uh, images, if I just write the command, you can see I have downloaded a lot of images. You can see a lot. So some of the images are downloaded from online and some of the images are created by me. So in here, images can be created by you. You can modify and save. For example, I have downloaded the MySQL and I have downloaded the Node. Then I have merged these two images and created a new image. And I have named that as Node MySQL. Okay, so you can play with them. So these are the images. Okay, so if you are confident with the images, I will go for the next thing. So what is the next thing? The next thing is the container. So what is actually the container? Actually, images are just images. They are not playable, but container are the playable thing. So, for example, by using the MySQL image, I will create a container. The container will be like installing a software into your PC. So this is pretty simple. So if okay, I'm going to show you some container, but in that case I'm not going to show you over my mice over my command prompt. So there is an alternative way. So this is called dashboard from the Docker application. So run that thing, you will see some container in my application. So you can see these are the containers. So from the image I have created this sort of container. So how to create container from images? If you are ready, then I can show you, but I think okay, I will make another video for that, how to create an container from an image. There is a lot of way, okay, but in the real application we are not going to do it manually. We'll do everything. We'll create in the in a real application, we will pull that images from the online, then we'll create the container and we will use this container uh, and create another images, and then we will execute that images, and then we'll connect that with our application, and all of that thing will be created or will be done from our some very simple executable file. We call that thing as Docker compose file, some sort of Docker file. So I'll show you this sort of thing. but this was a very basic thing. So I hope you understand what is actually Docker and what is Docker images and what is Docker container. But I will okay, just wait a minute, then I'm gonna show you something. So I have created a command sheet for the Docker, and I will show you today how you can play with that command sheet, and I will tag that with my video. Okay, so don't worry. If we go for the Docker, you can see there are a very good command sheet. Where in my there? A very good, nice, a lot of things. Okay, though I have told you that I will create a container on my next video, but I hope I need to show you now. So I have just copied one command from here, and then I will run that in my terminal, and I will explain. I will explain the things. Okay, first no, I'm not gonna clear that because there is some reference I want to show you from here. So I have just paste that. Now there is an extra thing, but I'm gonna show you. Okay, so don't think anything. So you can see right in here, I am creating a container. That's why I'm saying that Docker container run. That means I'm not only creating the container, I'm also running that container. So a container can have several states. State actually, it can be run, it can be stopped, it can rerun, and it can be deleted, and it can also be executed. Not the executed. It can have, and or you can use the integrated CLI. Yeah, there's this kind of thing can be done by the dashboard so easily. Okay, so we are creating a container and running that container into the pod. Okay, so what is actually the D? D, that means it is something like detached. Okay, so what is attached and what is detached? So attached thing, whenever I exit the terminal, my container will be also stopped. So this sort of thing is called attached. So everything, the container will be or the container lifecycle will be handled by the application or the terminal, and this sort of thing called as attached. And and the and the detached is contrary of that. So in detached, application or the container will run until we close that from the dashboard or from the command, from extra command. Okay, so it will be like a zombie child who doesn't have any parent. Okay, so that's great. So I hope you understand what is detached. And now the pod. So we are using the pod, and here you can see two pod. So the first pod is the default pod. Okay, but you can see right in here I'm using MySQL image. Okay, you can see MySQL image. So I'm using MySQL image. My mistake. Okay, I will explain you everything. So I'm using MySQL image, and for the MySQL the default port is 3306, and just left in the on left you can see I have showed another port. So this is actually the port will be used from my actual machine. Okay, so as this is kind of virtual thing, so 3306 is for the Docker system or the Docker environment code, and 3306 for my local environment. Okay, I hope you understand. This is for my machine and this is for the Docker machine. Okay, fine. And what will be the name for my container? So in my case, I'm gonna say, okay, this is MySQL, and I will tag that with something else because I hope I already have something called MySQL. So I'll say that MySQL test 2. probably I have something called as test2. So I have named that thing as MySQL test2. Then I need to also declare some environment variable. So how we can do that? So you have to provide this thing, and then you have to, so this is a key for that environment variable. As we know, for the MySQL there are several environment variable like MySQL root password, MySQL user, and MySQL user password, and MySQL DB. So this sort of environment variable can be passed right in here. And for the MySQL root password, this is the value 123456, and right in here using, and this portion is for the image. Which image I'm going to use? I guess I have if I don't use anything, clone or something, anything, just MySQL, then it will use the latest, okay, the latest tag. And if I want to use a specific one, then I can use 5.6, then run, and you can see my Docker image has been created, a Docker container has been created successfully as MySQL test2. So let's test that. You can see MySQL test2 not only has been created but also it's running. And what we can do with that CLI sort of thing, before that I'm going to stop that thing, okay, and I'm just showing you what you can do with that. So you can also have some log sort of thing, and again you can delete that too, but I'm not going to delete that now. I'm going to show you something else. So you can use the MySQL CLI from just right in it. So what can you do with that? For example, you can use MySQL -u root, as root is the administrative user, root -p, which will be the password for that. So as we have declared 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as the password, and you can see I'm just logged in my MySQL thing. And now I want to show you what are the databases do you have in my thing. So show databases. So which are the databases do I have in my thing, in my container? So these are the databases. If you want to create a databases, and fine, just create database. I'm gonna say MyDB kind of thing. You can write anything. So now show databases. You can see I can do pretty much anything with that. And not only that, if you want to connect that using any sort of software that installed on your in your machine, you can do it. You can use MySQL Workbench. You go for the MySQL Workbench. I'll show you. Okay. So for a new connection, so this is the local host, and 3306 we hadn't changed the port. I'm gonna okay, I hope you have here with me that I hadn't changed that. I didn't mask that with another port. I have used the same port, so 3306 for my local machine, fine enough. And what is the password for that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for